Good morning everyone, my name is Michelle. I hope you're doing well. Welcome to another video. It is Friday morning and yeah, it's very nice. Comfortably warm here in Northern England. So a lot has been said, lots of people have commented since Adventures with Purpose broke the internet in releasing, 2 members only, a video on finding Kiely Rodni. But it appears that there's a lot of people that are not happy with Adventures with Purpose. They've removed a small section of their video, so when it comes out, they said they're going to release it some point today, 2nd of September. It will be a little bit shorter than the 49 minutes. The section that's cut out is Doug calling Kiely's aunt and Kiely's grandma. They've removed that for privacy reasons. So that's fair enough. But a lot of people are not happy with Adventures with Purpose. A lot of people are. Let's just temper what I'm going to say next with there's been overwhelming support for them. I support them in what they've released. What they've released is important. There's speculations on why they released what they did, when they did. They said when they found Kiely and they did that short live stream, they said it would take around a week to get the editing done, and it has been about a week. So I think just the videos come out when the video's ready. Now they do have a lot more footage that they've not included. They've got a complete interview with tow truck guy, as I called him yesterday. People seem to be calling him roadside assistance guy, which is probably more accurate, because that's what he was called out for, roadside assistance, because a car wouldn't start and the occupant thought it had a dead battery. So let's call him roadside assistance guy. It's Nick, this guy here, put him on screen, this guy. But Adventures with Purpose have not released the whole interview they had with him. It must contain information that's sensitive, and it perhaps will be very relevant to the investigation. As Jared said, if the investigation goes that way. They've also got a lengthier conversation with Kiely's dad and grandpa that they've not released either. And I'm sure they've got a whole lot more footage of finding Kiely than they've released. So I think what they've released has been chosen very carefully. I don't think they've done this out of spite or anger. Some people are saying that they've done this to push law enforcement. Maybe, I did mention that yesterday actually. I said whether they know it or not, whether it was intentional or not, this might well trigger law enforcement to say something, because they've gone completely radio silent. All they've said since Kiely's been found is that her identity has been confirmed at autopsy, but they're still waiting on the cause of death information, which is interesting, very interesting, because if a cause of death is obvious and a manner of death can be determined, there's no reason why they wouldn't release that information, in my opinion. They don't have to release any details, but they can release the manner and cause of death if it's obvious. Remember back to Gabby Petito, it was only a couple of days, I want to say. It was not very long anyway. I could go back to my videos and check. I think I will. I'll put it on screen. How many days it took them from Gabby Petito being found to the manner of death. It was very quick. We didn't get details, did we, from Gabby for weeks and weeks. We got just a short summary. The longer it goes on, the longer they wait, makes me curious as to why they've not got the cause of death yet. Now, obviously, every situation is different. Making a direct comparison between Gabby Petito and anyone else, you have to put there a massive caveat and words of caution, because very different situations. Gabby was found out there in the open and had been there for a few weeks. Kiely is in water. Very different situation. So just the state of her body, the level of decomposition, the circumstances of her death, very different. And like Gabby, this is a high profile case, so they don't want to make any mistakes, obviously. So if they don't know, it's good that they're not making an assumption. That's a good thing. Perhaps they'll wait for the tox report, which they said would take 4 to 6 weeks, which is pretty standard. It's 4 to 6 weeks roughly here in the UK as well. So we're left with just what Adventures with Purpose has said. And it's led to a massive amount of speculation. And much of that is good speculation. You know, it's talking about what they said. It's speculating on what they said, but it leads to loads and loads of questions, and it sparked anger. It sparked anger from SF Investigates. He's the PI that was working with Kiely's dad, Daniel, and Grandpa. SF Investigates allegedly says that he was the one that told Dad and Grandpa that Adventures with Purpose had found Kiely's car and Kiely was inside. We briefly see Adventures with Purpose talking to them at the side of the reservoir. But SF Investigates has been releasing things on Twitter, and this is one thing he's released. And he's got a whole list of points that he's not happy with, particularly regarding roadside assistance guy. Now, SF Investigates is under a lot of attack on Twitter. I think he did some great drone work. I think he kept the public up to date on what was going on the ground in that time that Kiely was missing. I was following him closely because he had boots on the ground and a drone in the air. What have you found there? Can of Coke. I don't know what to think about him being so negative about AWP. You know, you could say, oh, it's sour grapes that they found her and he didn't. But I think it's a lot more than that. I think it would be very immature for him to be angry because of something like that, and I don't believe that that's the case. He's raised a lot of questions that a lot of people are asking about roadside assistance guy. Questions I asked in my live. When I went live, as soon as I'd watched AWP's video, like within 20 minutes of it finishing, I was live, like thinking, oh my word, I don't understand, I don't get this, I don't understand how this could have happened. Was Kiely really alive? 11 hours after her phone went dead. Her phone went dead, so we've been told by law enforcement, at 12:33 in the vicinity of Prosser Reservoir. Now, was that because it died due to lack of charge? Just wasn't charged? Well, Sammy said that they'd gone to Kiely's car to charge their phones. We know that Kiely texted her mother for the very last time around 11:30. Her mother told us this. We know that they were in the car, Kiely, Sammy and these other unnamed friends, never been named, the other friends, around that time. So she had some charge on her phone. Now, we don't know what the state of her phone was. Had the phone been damaged and it runs out of charge really quick? Was it an older phone that run out of charge really quick? I remember having a phone that was ridiculous. It was getting to the end of its life. It wasn't that old, but these things are built to break, aren't they? And I could charge it to 100%. And if I was out and I'd used the phone and, you know, there's various apps running in the background that are updating and stuff, it would be out of charge within a couple of hours, easily. It was that bad. So I got a new phone. So it could be that Kylie's phone had a dud battery, you know, it didn't keep its charge very well. It could be that someone turned it off. Someone took it off Kiely and turned it off. Or it could be it went dead because it went in the lake with Kiely at 12:33 or shortly before that. That's kind of what I've been thinking since Kiely was found in Prosser Reservoir at that location, so close to the shore. I thought the phone's gone down with her. Now, Adventures with Purpose have said that, Jared said that he doesn't know if the phone was in the vehicle. We saw through the windows some things that were in the vehicle. There looks to be a laptop charger that looks to be from an Apple Mac laptop. I know because I've got exactly that charger. There looks to be something behind it. Now, some people have said it's the white and pink sweatshirt. I don't know, it's not clear enough. I've put various filters on these photos, taken screenshots from AWP, put various filters on, and you still can't really see with any certainty. So I don't really want to speculate on what I can see, because sometimes when you put filters on, you mess up the shadows and stuff like that, and it looks like things are there when they're not. And yeah, so let's not do that. But Roadside Assistance guy has raised so many questions. In my live that I did just after I'd watched AWP's video, I said this guy could be lying. He could be lying. He absolutely could be lying. It could be a plant, not an AWP plant, but, you know, I don't know, monkey business going on behind the scenes. But AWP believe that he's credible. Remember, they've got a whole lot more from that guy that would make them believe that he is credible. And somebody, now I don't know who this is just a screenshot from the internet, who has rung the Nevada County Sheriff, and they've said that that Roadside Assistance guy tip is legit. What do we mean by legit? I don't know. That they believe it's a genuine tip, that Roadside Assistance guy is genuine, so not a plant, not somebody who has been sent to set up AWP. If what Nevada County Sheriff said is true, then he's not. He's genuine. Now remember, they can just check him out. You know, his company's genuine. He's an employee of that company. He was sent out to Boca Lake to a roadside assistance query. Does legit mean that that is all genuine? I think so. That's the way I'm reading this. But the sheriff has also said there's nothing to update. So does that mean that they've considered the tip? They've looked at the camera footage, the dash cam footage. They've looked into the phone number that rang roadside assistance, and they can determine that it wasn't Kiely. Well, if that's the case, then there is something to update. There is. If it is Kiely, then there's definitely something to update. So I think an update would be useful. If they've checked out this tip and they've determined that this was Kiely, or it wasn't Kiely, tell us. Jared said that they had a positive ID on the man, the young man that was with Kiely. They got a positive ID on him. So who has? Adventures with Purpose or law enforcement? Presumably, it would be Adventures with Purpose know who that guy is. And they haven't named him, but it's kind of led people to think that it's Jagger. The description of the man sounds very much like Jagger, and they even showed a picture of that black hat that Jagger had on, the black San Francisco hat that Jagger had on. So they've kind of led the audience to believe that it's Jagger. And Jagger is furious. He is furious. He says that they're cloud chasers. Kate, who is Kylie's friend, people don't know who Kate is, but I know that there's people who've come into this case kind of late and haven't seen all of those early interviews with her friends. Go back in my Kiely Rodni playlist, I'll put a link to it here, and just start at the beginning and work up, because I've got all the key interviews and my commentary on them. But Kate is this young woman here who was interviewed with Jagger, and she's got long blonde hair. Of the friends that we've seen, Sammy, Mags and Kate, I think Kate most resembles Kiely. So there's a lot of people who think the same, and I went there. In my mind, I went there. What if those two that rang roadside assistance were Jagger and Kate, and Kate gave Kylie's name? So roadside assistance guy thinks he spoke to Kiely, when actually he didn't. He didn't speak to Kiely. He spoke to Kate. Now that's potentially a very, very wild speculation, but my mind went there. But that would mean that those two were responsible for what happened to Kiely. It would mean that they were concealing Kiely, either alive or dead, possibly dead by that point, on the Saturday morning around 11 a.m. These are big, big claims to make. If people are now throwing shade at Jagger because of what Adventures with Purpose said, and it's completely not true, then he's understandably angry. He does need to stop talking though, because the more angry he gets, the more people will turn on him. He just needs to shut off his social media and stop. But this young man is angry. Maybe he's dealing with this the wrong way. Instead of just turning off social media and ignoring it, maybe there's some immaturity there, and he's not handling this the right way. But he is making himself look guilty, I have to say. He's not making the situation better. He's putting himself in the frame here for a lot of hate. He started a new Instagram called Long Live Kiely. Is this a young man, as I originally thought, is this a young man who is mourning, who is grieving? But remember, he is Kylie's ex. Now, if he's a recent ex and he still loves Kiely, and she was the one that broke up with him, was he that angry with Kiely? We have to go there. We have to ask the question, right? Is he that kind of person, possessive, thinks that she should have had respect for him because he loves her? Did something go down, right? Remember those early interviews, and it was said that Kiely had spoken to Jagger by text message around 10:30. And she'd said to him, I'm sorry that's happening to you. So he's obviously texting something that, he's not feeling good, it's bad. And Kylie's sent him a nice text. Could it be possible that Jagger's alibi of fishing with his dad isn't true and he actually went to that party? Is it? Is it possible that he went to that party? Was the ruckus that was allegedly caused some people to leave? Again, AWP talked about this. Was that Jagger? Was Kiely with another young man and Jagger turned up pissed off? I want to know that Jagger's alibi is watertight. I want to know where he was between him texting her at 10:30 and 11 a.m. the following morning. I want to know exactly where Jagger was to rule him out. And I hope that law enforcement have that information. And for his sake, that he has been ruled out. So, law enforcement might not be able to say very much, but I don't think it's true that they have nothing to update. I think a short conference just saying that they've had this tip from Roadside Assistance guy, they've checked it out, and yeah, it was Kiely, or no, it wasn't Kiely. Because I'm inclined to think that Roadside Assistance guy is genuine, but whether it was Kiely or not, we don't know. And is AWP right that there has been a positive ID on the young man? Jagger's not doing himself any favours. Like Sammy. Everyone's looking at Sammy again now. She did herself no favours with the team meetings and trying to control the narrative. But remember, Jagger did as well. He told somebody on his social media that they could contact either him or the sheriff because they were working together. And the sheriff had to come out and say, no, we're not. So, I don't know what to think. But it certainly set the cat among the pigeons as AWP. So, it's out to the general public later today. I don't know what time they're going to release it. So there'll be a whole lot more people who actually see what we've been talking about for the last couple of days. You know, it's so much better when the audience has actually seen what I'm talking about. So please do go and watch it if you haven't seen it. And then you can form your own opinion, can't you? Anyway, I'm going to go. If there are any updates later today, then I will probably go live. Otherwise, I won't. So I'll see you soon. Goodbye from Miss Tillington and Miss Cassie Springer. Right over there. Just to inspect that banking, like every day.